Being a part of the Holland Christian football program is a privilege that takes commitment and sacrifice by players and their parents. Tonight we would like to honor our senior football players. First of all, to the seniors, thank you for your dedication to your teammates and coaches over your years of participating in football at Holland Christian. You have represented your community well and made us proud on a weekly basis. To the parents, thank you for the many prayers and the encouraging words you have lifted up for these boys over many years. Through good times and hard times, you have faithfully supported your boys as they have grown into men. Thank you. Here are your 20... all things through him who gives me strength. Luke Conklin, escorted by his parents, Chris and Jennifer Conklin. Luke plans to attend college and play football, but is undecided on school and major at this time. His favorite Bible verse is Genesis 27:3. Now then, get your equipment, your quiver and bow, and go out to the open country to hunt some wild game for me. Christian Huxama. Christian is escorted by his parents, Kelly and John Vanelli, and Matt and Lynn Huxama. Christian plans to attend college, where he intends to either swim or play football, or both. He is undecided on a school and major at this time. His favorite Bible verse is Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Sam Knott, escorted by his parents, Brian and Missy Knott. Sam is undecided on what college he wants to attend, but he plans to major in a humanities-related field. His favorite Bible verse is Psalm 51:12 and 13. Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me. Then I will teach transgressors your ways, so that sinners will turn back to you. Brody Nelson, escorted by his parents, Tom and Joey Nelson. Brody is planning on starting an apprenticeship to be an electrician after graduation. His favorite Bible verse is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Connor Smith, escorted by his parents, James and Kay Smith. Connor plans on going to college to pursue a career in business. Connor plans on playing football in college and is not decided on his school at this time. His favorite Bible verse is Isaiah 41:10. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous hand. Carter Smith. Carter Spencer. Carter is escorted by his parents and lives in Clemens Spencer. Carter is still deciding between attending college and entering the workforce after high school. His favorite Bible verse is Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go. And finally, Henry Steenwick. Henry is escorted by his parents, Chad and Rachel Steenwick. Henry is planning on attending college, but is undecided in his major at this time. His favorite verse is John 3:30. He must become greater. I must become less. Let's give a round of applause for our 2022
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Holland Christian High School for Friday night football. Of course, soccer is on tonight, but that's all right. Welcome to Holland Christian, and I got a special guest here tonight, head coach, Holland Christian High School varsity football, Coach Kuipers. So, Coach Kuipers, we were just talking a little bit ago about your seniors. I know we have 8, and so then, for instance, what are we looking at with the seniors Friday night as their last home game at the high school?
Well, thanks, Richard. Thanks for having me on. We have 8 seniors this year. They've put a lot into their football careers. They've worked really hard at it, dedicated themselves to the sport, to the team. You know, it's been interesting for those guys. As freshmen, we asked them to play up, playing JV football. As sophomores, we asked them to play up, playing varsity football. So they've been 3-year varsity players, and I've gotten to know them really well as football players, but also as men. A great group of guys, and it's been a fun year working with those guys this year, their senior year, when they can finally play against, you know, they're the old guys now, playing against the younger guys, and they've really asserted themselves, been great leaders in our program, and had a great season.
Okay, so then, for instance, I know we have Unity here. That's a big rivalry for football. What are we looking at? I know that they run the wing T. So then, for instance, how do we defend that? And what's the prerogative of the game Friday night? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so Unity does run wing T. They have a very good offense. Last year, they set a record for the most points scored in a season for any high school in the state of Michigan on their way to Ford Field, where they got beat in the state finals. They scored over 800 points in the season, which is just crazy. Defending the wing T is tough. You have to be responsible. You have to do your job over and over and over. To add on to that, they're going to run no huddle at us and try to speed up the tempo, get as many plays in as possible. 3 years ago when these seniors were freshmen, we beat these guys on our homecoming 28-14. And it's one of the last times these guys have been beat in the regular season in our conference. And so the goal is to do the same thing we did that night, and that's be physical, play responsibility football, and get the W.
Okay, then, for instance, I know I talked to you about this before, too. The guys have to keep their heads up, and I don't know why. It feels like at school and stuff, they keep their heads down. Can we explain that a little bit? Like at the football game, they have to keep their heads up to play like a good game. Otherwise, I just feel like they're going to keep their heads down and we're going to lose. But I feel like we got potential to beat Unity. So what do you think about that one?
I guess I'm going to disagree with you there, Richard. I think that this is a group of guys that has been very positive. I think the culture around this team is one of belief and one of a belief in each other, a trust in each other, and so we've had great comebacks because of that. I think our game 2 weeks ago on homecoming when we beat Spring Lake in the last minute of the game last week, to come back from behind and to tie the game at 27 on a 4th down play. We've shown growth and the ability to be resilient in the face of adversity.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. Go Maroons, and stay tuned for varsity football. Holland Christian versus Unity.
Good evening and welcome to Holland Christian for tonight's game of our visitors from Unity Christian. Our two schools have competed in football since 2003 when we had our first varsity football season. Our schools serve to promote character development through educational athletics and empower our athletes, coaches, officials, and fans to be role models for sportsmanship and fair play on the field and in our communities, on the foundation of Christ's leadership over all things. We are excited to have our student athletes learning life lessons through educational athletics. Please report to promote this positive environment this evening. Thank you to our game sponsors this evening, Gentex. Do you know someone looking for a job? Tell them Gentex is hiring. Thank you, Team Gentex. The West Michigan Officials Association is one of our many partners in educational athletics through their role officiating football and basketball games for the OK Conference. Over the last 15 years, the number of officials in Michigan has decreased by over 1/3. We'd like you to consider becoming an official to continue making interscholastic sports possible. Go to MHSA.com and click on officials for information and to register. This game doesn't happen without our dedicated officials. Please join me in thanking our officials for their commitment to student athletes this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you stand. The privilege of this game was made possible by those who have fought and continue to fight for the freedoms we enjoy. Our veterans are pillar members in our community, and we are proud of our veterans in attendance with us tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, please remove your hats. Active and retired military, we encourage you to run over the appropriate salute. And everyone able, please stand at attention, placing your hand over your heart, as we join the Holland Christian Pep Band under the direction of Mr. Scott Vandenberg in the playing of our national anthem.
From beautiful Holland Christian High School, HCLive presents Holland Christian Unity. And it's going to be a great one tonight. Welcome to the broadcast. Welcome to the show. It's the last home game of the year. And Mark Vandenbosch alongside Kurt. We've got a great one tonight.
It is always exciting when you have these two rivals going against each other. And, you know, we're going to have a way different style of game. Holland Christian's going to want to put the ball in the air, hit the flats, get some link to it, where Unity's just going to say, let's pound the line of scrimmage. And I know I've coached the T before, which they run that tight T, and it's a lineman's offense. So we'll see if we can stop the Unity linemen from having their way. If we can do that, then it's going to be where we want to have it.
Yeah, so we've got Unity. They're at the top of the OK Blue along with West Catholic at 4-0. Holland Christian 2-2 this year. A little bit of an improvement over last year, and that's great to see. Unity, of course, coming off a state runner-up last year. Kurt, what are some keys to the game tonight?
Well, you know, I'm going to say the same all the time as a line coach is how are we going to do on that line of scrimmage? But we also know, as we have seen the last couple weeks, who handles the ball the best. You know, can we not get a turnover? Can we make things keep controlling the ball? And that's really what both teams are going to look for.
Holland Christian will kick off, and Unity will start with the ball tonight. Left to right on your TV, tablet, whatever you may be watching on tonight.
And as a whole, that's usually what you like. You like to be kicking off in the beginning, and they are just saying, let's do it.
Hey, you got to love Coach Kuiper's aggressiveness. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, I'm thinking, Kurt.
Well, you know, Unity has been in a lot of high-scoring affairs along the way. Last week, Holland Christian lost a close one to Coopersville, and Unity beat Coopersville by a point earlier on. And again, all those scores, Unity's been in the 20s, 30s, 40s there. So they're used to just coming at you with tempo. We'll see if they do the no huddle this year or not. Last year, that's what they were doing. Last year, though, as you notice, they had 10 seniors that were either all-conference or honorable mention all-conference, and they had some talent.
They sure did. And Mitch Tibby will lead the charge for Unity again. Heavy wing tee, that's what we'll see out of Unity. And a handoff up the middle there to Isaac Steenstra. Now, for our listeners that aren't as familiar with the wing tee, can you unpack it a little bit?
Yeah, and really right now, when we'll say wing tee sometimes, Unity actually stays in the tight tee more. Wings are when the backs will come out to the side, but there's always going to be probably 3 people that you got to watch to tackle every play. They're going to dive a fullback usually, or it'd be off a trap in the middle. They're going to have a back to the side that's going to do a kick-out block, and then another back follow through, and then the quarterback can keep it outside yet. And that one, the quarterback was keeping it outside. We had a hand on him, couldn't quite wrap him up. Tibby's good quarterback. It's coach's son. So, I mean, obviously has some experience and probably have a dad telling him a few things to do. That time they had it well. You know, you could see the quarterback tries to just pocket it and just kind of bow outside of it there. So it's one of those things that you always have to have somebody there for that middle trap. You got to have somebody in the off-tackle spots right now that they're running. And, you know, if they can create just that small seam.
And a first down by Nolan Viss there. Right up the middle.
And as we've said with any offense, they want to get 2 spots that they feel they can go to. You know, one off tackle, one inside. There's your coming outside here wide.
Handoff to 25. And Isaac Steenstra takes it all the way down inside the 10, inside the 5 to about the 4-yard line.
And they do. They come, you know, they hit everything fast. You notice they're on the ball already. They are not huddling. They're just looking at wristbands. So they are just trying to keep momentum coming at you. Same play. This time we bunched it up better. And their goal is just to keep that momentum, I'm going to say, when they're that white wave coming at you.
Yeah, and you talk so much about the line of scrimmage. I mean, Unity feels like they're running downhill on this opening drive.
They are, you know, and it's just creating a spot. And there you see
and
just
a handoff to Nolan Viss. The sophomore runs it in.
And you'll see, you know, if you're watching it there, you'll see usually a guard pulling to play side. So they'll try to get a lot of people. And a lot of times the blocking with a tight tee like this is you want to double team to push down, kick out, create a seam, and just have a back that wants to run that hole.
So Unity up 6-0 early here in the first quarter. They will go for 2.
And I think a lot of wing T teams do.
And Tibby keeps it, throws it into the end zone, and
well defended.
Well defended there, and you got to take that as a positive.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we gave them a short field by trying that onside kick. Now it's a matter of how do we answer. Because if we can just kind of say, okay, you score, we can score back. So now it's a matter of us doing some ball control. our ball control will be a little run and a lot more throwing it.
If you like watching opposites, that's what you have tonight.
Yeah. As a lineman, I like the T offense. As a fan, not many fans like watching the T. Yeah, they like it if their team's winning with that, but the big part is, it's, sometimes they're like, who has the ball? It's hard to see it because it's like, okay, they're always doing fakes, always rocking it. A good running back will kind of say, oh, we're happy if we got tackled if we didn't have the ball.
Yeah, we're going to have to be on our game tonight as it relates to who's carrying the ball.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those that if you have good deception, that makes that offense that much better.
I'm in the press box.
So Unity with
doing the similar type thing.
Yeah, and we've seen it this year where teams have kicked it deep, and Holland Christian has made them pay with some nice runs from Spencer and Aberger back there. Holland Christian will start their first possession of the night at the 38-yard line, 1st and 10.
So what we got to watch here is, okay, it looks like they're in kind of a 4-man defensive front, couple linebackers, then they'll spread their D-backs out a ways, got one safety deep in the middle.
Eli Boyce leading the charge this year at QB. And a handoff to Conklin, who gets a couple yards.
It's a good start. I mean, you get 2-3. It shows them that you want to still keep running available. Sometimes if you just start throwing, then everybody's just saying, okay, we just got to keep that outside and look for the blitzing and other things along the way.
2nd and 7 for the Maroons. So glad that you joined us on a nice night for football, really. It's a little crisp if you're a fan, but I got to believe the football players are loving this weather.
This is the weather football players love. I think anything 50s to 60s is just golden time.
And Boyce out to Smits, the senior.
Put that one a little bit high for him to try to make the transition over to running it. So it was one of those that you got to jump to catch and just doesn't offer that flow of offense quite as much. So there's so much timing needed with every play.
And we will call it 2nd and a long 6, or
Actually,
third down and 6. And an important first third down for the Maroons. They certainly want to stay on the field.
Yeah, you don't want to give the ball back this quickly.
Got Aberger in motion, and he catches
nice
it in the
one
flat.
there, yes. That one.
With some room to run. And first down into Unity territory.
And you see the difference there if you're watching it. There he hit him right in stride, so that way Aberger could just turn right up. And we had a couple nice blocks happening out there. So that one, you create that space. And, I mean, that timing is it's good, and that's a challenge. You even see it as a challenge at the pro level to say, okay, can I hit that running back in stride? So that one's just what you wanted.
Nice throw by Eli. Eli is a player who's about the detail. I know he watches a lot of film, and that's been helpful for him.
Yeah, as a quarterback, you have to do that. You got to see what they're going to be running, how they're going to come up. So much that quarterback has to process on every play.
Boyce looking left to Mitch Merheisen, who
made a couple yards out of it. And, that one there, your challenge is when you're hitting that short, it's almost a wide receiver screen. You've got a couple other people blocking for you. But nobody drove them deep, so they're all just coming up right now. And that's one of those plays that if you do a couple of those, you're hoping later that they'll all start coming up and you can send one person deep. So it's kind of the go part of it.
Maroons with a lot of talent at the skill positions.
And right now the line's giving him the time he needs to throw, so we'll hopefully keep it going that way.
Again, Aberger in motion. They go back to the play that got the first down, and this one's successful as well. And he takes it all the way down to the 25.
Yeah, he's doing nice motion right across, and they'll catch him just as he is just ready to turn up. And that time, I think Unity's sitting there saying, okay, we got to get after him a little bit. You saw a linebacker possibly coming through, and that's what they're going to try to do to disrupt the passing game, is put some pressure on him. Right now, he's been getting rid of the ball quickly.
It's senior night here at Holland Christian. So glad that you're joining us tonight, whether you're here in West Michigan, somewhere in Michigan, in the Great Lakes region, or across the country. It's a great night for football. And a handoff to Conklin. That one gets stopped for a loss.
Yeah, he was just, that was more going sideways, and there was a guy from Unity right in our backfield. So that play, sometimes that happens. You got somebody there that did a good job on their part. Their DN wasn't being fooled to come in at all.
Yeah, and that's on the short side of the field, too.
Yeah.
So 2nd and 12.
And right now, though, the difference is we are in that 4-down territory. So you've got to just say, okay, can I get 3, 4, 5 yards on this one to, set up more options for that 3rd down play. Everything's about just getting yourself ready for that next one and getting those first downs.
Eli over to Spencer with a nice move.
Nice
and
move.
Spencer's going all the way down to the 2-yard line.
That was some good athleticism there. He did a nice stop, let the Unity player fly by, cut in behind, and he has good speed. He showed it there, and he also showed some good movement.
Yeah, fantastic play there by the senior Spencer Carter, also a basketball player for Holland Christian, gets the Maroons knocking on the door.
And the challenge is in the passing attack more, you just don't have a lot of field now to do things with. So that is going to be the part here we got to say, okay, and we look like we're empty right now. Could be a time for a quarterback draw, yeah.
And Boyce takes it in on cue, Coach Brink.
That's one where you're sitting there saying, okay, we spread you out, let's spread you out, and then let's do it. And Boyce is a good runner, so the thing is you've got that. You can only do those so often, though, because you don't have any lead blocks. You don't have other stuff. But, again, it was a nice one to do. Keeps it so you don't have to hit the flats, do other stuff there. So, nice time. We can go ahead on this one. We make that extra point, which we've been pretty good at our kicks. And we got that. Now, all of a sudden, the Maroons are ahead.
Yeah, and Van Heist, the sophomore, is successful on his extra point and puts Holland Christian up 7-6 with just over 5 minutes left in the first.
And that was a nice 5-minute drive for us. Unity did theirs quite quickly, even though it was running. In high school, again, when you stop for every first down and doing that, they're not even huddling. They're just running a up-tempo kind of offense there. So that mix made it so their drive, 50-some yards, was very fast, where ours, we had to go a few more 3rd downs, but we converted when we had to. So that's big.
Well, and you got to believe that keeping the ball away from Unity is one strategy to keep them off the field.
Yeah, if you can maintain your possessions, not turn it over, getting first downs, but mainly you got to get scores at the end. Because if they're scoring and you're not, it doesn't matter how long you have the ball. So we'll see what their one looks like, because a lot of times he kicks from a hash, so I'm not sure what kind of speed Unity has back there. So we'll see if we try to pooch it someplace in the middle or if we're going to go with the deep kick.
And Van Heist goes deep with this one. And Unity, Dylan and DeHoop takes it out to about the 21.
That was great
coverage. Nice coverage.
Great coverage. They had a decent start there, but we stayed in our lanes and took care of things.
So Unity will start deeper in their territory for their second possession. 1st and 10 on the 23.
And basically, when the challenge of a long field is you have to make it without making any mistakes along the way. So as a coach, you love a short field because, you know, anything, penalties, anything else, you just have more time to make mistakes when you got to go 75, 80 yards.
So Tibby under center, and a handoff for a short gain.
That's the one where you're looking at all this stuff coming outside, and they just hand it to the guy in the middle there. So,
and that was Alex Steenstra, the sophomore. And Unity has a few sophomores playing tonight. I believe they have some injuries in their running back positions. And that one was stuffed at the line of scrimmage.
Very good play. And they're trying just a quicker little, I'm going to say almost more of a quick dive off from there. And trying to give a different look. And, you know, we defended that one very, very well.
So big play, 3rd and 7. The Maroon defense going to try to get off the field.
Looks like we got a good number of down people. You see 5 down. Oh, there's. Oh,
that's going to be a flag.
Yeah, it's got to be. You know,
there was a little bit of a delay there. Nolan Viss there, the sophomore, moved, and I didn't know if the official was going to call it.
You can do motion out wide, so if you see it, but you can't go forward. So it's that forward motion that did it. So if he would have been doing a lateral motion, you know, he could have said, oh, I'll keep going and doing that. And if he chooses to reset himself, he's got to be set a second before the quarterback snaps the ball or, you know, calls the signals, get it snapped.
So 3rd and 11, Unity passes 3 to 5 times in a game. Is this a time where you'll see a pass?
I would say yes, but then I'd also say the fullback trap is one of those things that, you know, if we're all looking wide, you see us packed in there yet. And it's a bootleg by the quarterback.
Yeah, and Tibby keeps it around the corner. And looks like he's going to get the first down. Yeah, you could see him hiding it on his hip.
And that is one. It's just the keep out by the quarterback. They do all the fake, and trying again to play that deception on offense. Here you're coming off tackle this way. And the challenge is we're meeting it decent, but we got to still have somebody that meets it coming forward into the hole instead of arms grabbing.
And Steenstra gains about 6 yards on first down. And Unity with a 2nd and 4 at their 40.
And you see all the players, when you see them all looking down, everybody has a wristband, so there's calls that come in from the sideline.
Tibby's back to pass. He's got a wide open Isaac Steenstra who takes it in for the score.
And that's the hard part. You know, you've got everybody coming up to stop the run. And they had 2 receiver basically pattern. We had one covered, but the other one, there was nobody in sight. You know, as the defensive coaches, you got to talk about that some. But as a whole, we are telling our guys, we got to fill. We got to fill. And that one there, when he does it, that is probably, you know, you'd have to see it on replay, but that one that was on one of their backs coming out of the backfield. So not even an in, because sometimes you'll say, okay, key the in. But when you send the back out in that pattern, that messes up all your keys.
And Unity follows it up by being successful on their 2-point conversion. Steenstra scores the touchdown and the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and that's your, you know, he's your right halfback there, so he'll come usually running to the left. And the last time, I'm assuming he probably was doing something that he's saying, oh, I'm going to block you, and then instead of blocking you, they just run past you. And as a D-back, that is one of your hardest things that you have to defend, because you've been trying to meet him, and all of a sudden this time you're coming to meet him, and he just says, I'm going past you.
So we are 14-7 in the first quarter. It's been an entertaining game so far. Both teams have been successful in each of their possessions. We're hoping Holland Christian can respond. on their second possession.
It's just going to be a matter of keeping answering until we find a way to stop them.
Holland Christian 3-3 overall, 2-2 in the OK Blue. We were talking about it before the game, Kurt. Every other week, Holland Christian has won this year. And yes, you guessed it, last week they lost. Tonight we're hoping they can chalk up a win.
Yeah, and out of bounds, that gives you decent possession right there. It looks like Unity does not want to kick the ball deep. They have probably seen some things at Holland Christian and maybe their coverage saying, we just don't want to give them that chance to make a big play.
Well, and we've seen some big plays from both of our deep backs as it relates to just in the offensive set. Aberger and Spencer. And so I got to believe that's exactly what.
This time they're just saying, let's have them re-kick it. So it's one that you're saying, we could have gotten the ball on the 35 or where it went out of bounds. Obviously, it went out of bounds someplace between the 25 and 30, so we'd have taken 35. But they're just saying, we're going to make you kick it again. And that's the option that Holland Christian had, of either taking the penalty at the spot or to say, move back 5 yards and kick it again.
You got to like Kuiper's thought process on this. We'll see if it's successful.
35-yard line.
And Unity will kick from the 35.
So Hugo Vanderwall once again will ready the Crusader kickoff. Maroons to receive.
Yeah, it looks like we got to have our up people ready. He hasn't gone for anything deep yet. That time he did a little more.
And Spencer grabs it up over the 30 to about the 32.
So basically where we would have been before. So no difference, but again, you give yourself that chance for the big play, and you always like the opportunity to get a big play. Those are the momentum getters for a team.
On the 32-yard line.
Now it's just going to be a matter of, okay, they came back. Each time Unity's drives have been just about 2 minutes long. Last time we had them in a beautiful spot with that 3rd and 11, but we got to make sure that next time it ends there.
Eli barking some directions to his offense. And hands the ball off. And I thought that was to Spencer.
It was. They've used a few different backs here along the way. Got a couple yards. Again, not a bad start. Everything at least going in that positive direction.
Gain of 2 on the play.
Spencer shares duties with fellow senior Lucas Conklin in the backfield. Lucas was all conference OK Blue last year. And Connor Smits with OK All Blue Conference honorable mention last year, and they both have returned for really nice senior seasons.
It's fun. They got a nice senior group there, and they've played hard.
And Aberger in motion again. This time a pass and got deflected there a little. I think it was off Smits's hands.
That was actually the guy just in front. Yeah, the guy just in front of him tipped it, so then it went high, and luckily you're right, it went to that spot. And what we were doing that time is they're saying we're hoping to pull him up, and they started to pull up, but the guy got his hand up where they were saying we've run this play successfully on you twice, so we're going to pump it to Aberger and then try to hit somebody over the middle behind.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of football, where plays are set up that can then have a counter later.
Yep.
And we saw that with Unity's long touchdown and Holland Christian doing some of the same. 3rd down and 8, big possession or big play here for the Maroons. And over the middle, almost caught there by Aberger.
Just a little too far, stretched for it, couldn't quite get there.
And that'll bring up 4th down and 8. And Coach Kuiper's bringing on the punting unit.
Yeah, at this part of the point of the field and game, you've got to kick away. You can't give them that short a field here.
Yeah, we've seen Aberger come down with catches like that this year. That time just a little bit too outside his reach.
Yeah, he could get fingers on it, but that's about it. It's nice to have your quarterback be your punter.
Yeah, so quarterback to quarterback here as we notice Tibby is back to receive. And a fake. And a catch by Abiger. Great play.
Yeah, it was his motion one again out in the flat. Yeah, it's just nice to have a quarterback back there. It gives you more options, because, your fake punt pass is probably the most common. Sometimes you have a really good runner back there.
And is that on Eli? Is he reading that and has the option to either kick or pass, or do you think that play is called?
I think that one was called the way it looked, because he does roll to the right all the time as he did it, but he looked like ready to throw it. Now, he might have had the option to kick it if he said, there's nothing there, but it keeps it going there. And we know we want to just keep answering with it.
And Eli out to Spencer, who's hit immediately, but not after a 5-yard gain.
But there was a flag on the far side. It looks like some motion against the Maroons.
And unfortunately, that will move the Maroons back 5 yards.
Penalty indication is false start on the offense.
And they will have a first down again, but this time 1st and 15.
And, those are not – it's the 15-yard penalties that are the hard ones to overcome. The 5-yard, you don't like it, but you can just say, okay, let's get 5-6 yards. Just keep us going. You want to move the chains all the time.
Maroons have had some success passing here in the first quarter. And Eli with a quarterback
draw
and gets almost back to the original line of scrimmage.
So you're looking at about your 2nd 10, 2nd 11, right in that neighborhood there. I'd say 2nd 10. So Unity was blitzing a little bit. That keeps them off guard just a little, saying, okay, we can't just come after the quarterback, because they're going to try to create, the linemen are going to try to create some seams for Eli to run through.
Eli getting some direction from Coach Kuipers there and returns to the huddle. And he will lead the charge here on 2nd and 10, just shy of the 50-yard line. And a quick pass to Mitch Merheisen, who's got a little bit of room, takes it up over the 50 down to the 45.
Nice 7-yard gain. That puts you at that 3rd and 3, where you've got a lot of possibilities here. You've crossed midfield, so we'll have to see how close they get to the first down, whether you say, let's do that. What do they got, though? I see a flag again.
Maybe a hold.
Looks like it. They had it from a spot.
Penalty marker on the play. Holding on the offense.
And it was holding. And it brings the Maroons back to their own 41.
Yeah, you've got 2nd and 17. Still doable. Now you got to get decent yards on this one.
And a handoff to Spencer.
That was that Statue of
Liberty there.
Statue of Liberty play where you're coming there trying to tuck it in. Somebody stayed home nice for Unity. Their outside backer out there just kept his ground.
And that'll probably bring us to the end of the first quarter. Yes, Coach Kuipers calling his team over to the sideline. We're 14-7 after the first quarter on senior night here at Holland Christian.
Yeah, the challenge is going to be when you've got that 3rd and 17, you see how much you can get of it. If you get 10, 12 of it, then you'd say 4th down, maybe not. But you've got it, the fake punt you don't do on 3rd and 17 or 4th and 17 is quick.
Well, in a night like tonight where you're going up against such a high caliber team, you got to keep it clean, right? And we saw positive plays that were brought back by penalties.
Yeah, we've had 2 on this drive right down here. We had that offsides, which drives the coach nuts a little bit, because you're just like, okay, we didn't even get a chance to do anything. Then, holding, I don't know, that's one of those calls that, okay, there's hands all the time someplace, and it's just what the official sees. And, as a coach, when I look at film, sometimes you say, yeah, that definitely was holding, and other times you're like, how did they miss this other one? But that's a hard game to call when things are happening that fast. So,
yeah. Hey, we saw the students there. It's a great showing by them. It's a pink out tonight, as you can tell. Some of the players are wearing, most of the players are wearing pink as well.
Yeah, got some little accessories going on, so it's good. And it's fun when students can do that and just say, okay, we got time to get together as a student body and have some fun.
And a nice crowd by the Holland Christian faithful. As you're looking at the screen, you're seeing the Unity side, and they've brought the house, so to speak, as well. Just a short drive, 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away in Hudsonville, and their student section is strong as well. So here we go, 3rd down and 17.
We got 3 wide to the top of the screen here, 4 now. So we got a lot to his right side. It's the double pass right now, as you can tell.
Yep, and Mitch Merheisen throws it deep, and that one's picked off. And that picked off by the quarterback of Unity, Tibby, and he takes it all the way back out to the 50.
It's a good play. You could tell Unity wasn't fooled by it, though. When you've got a 3rd and 17, it's harder to pull that trick out because people are saying, stay back, stay back, stay back. And Holland Christian's run the play a few times. Actually, decent pass, but it was thrown into double coverage there.
So Unity will start their 3rd possession at the 50-yard line. Holland Christian needs a stop here.
We do. We got it. Last time we got them to that 3rd and long, but we got to finish it this time.
And a short gain for the Satyrs.
And it seems like they're, I'm going to say, run left a little bit more right now. They like 25 carrying it there.
For the Crusaders, 2nd down.
Yeah, Steensters had a lot of work early in the game tonight.
After I say it, they come with a nice run right. So.
And there's a handoff to Nolan Viss, another sophomore, who has a nice gain for Unity. All the way down to the 35 of Holland Christian.
And that is, with that balance, you really aren't worried about which hash mark you're on.
And another handoff there to the sophomore. Viss takes it all the way down inside the 20. And I think they're going to mark him right at the 20. And another 1st down. The chains are moving.
And Unity is. They're just trying to keep that momentum going, just right up to the ball.
And Kuipers wants a timeout. And I think probably a good call. The momentum was there. Unity was running downhill, so to speak, and they needed to stop.
Yeah, and they've got to figure out what can we do. You can't just concentrate everybody on the, I'm going to say, they're basically, when you look at offense, right between the guard and center, those are called your A gaps, between the guard and tackle are your Bs, and the offense right down here is hitting between the tackle and the end, that's the C gap. And you've got to have somebody fill in there, but they've got, usually a backside guard coming through, so you've just got a lot of people coming at that spot. And they're probably, I'd have to look at the blocking scheme more, probably doubling down on our tackle, trying to roll him, kicking out with the back on that side, leading through with somebody else. So there's a lot of people coming at a very small area.
We talked about momentum. Unity lost their first 2 games of the year. They've won 4 consecutive in the OK Blue as they look to try to make another run into the playoffs. And Tibby with a handoff right up the middle, and I thought it got stopped.
Number 13, John DeHoop, the ball carrier for the Crusaders.
After about a gain of 3.
And that's one, you've been hitting the C's, now all of a sudden let's do a quick trap through an A gap.
And that was the senior Dylan DeHoop.
There's your straight dive up.
And the straight dive results in a touchdown for Nolan Viss. And Unity extends their lead to 13 early in the second quarter.
And if you're not used to watching line block and everything else, you say, oh, they just keep hitting the same spots. But they are hitting such a variety of spots and a variety of ways they do it. That time is just a quick dive by a tailback on that side. The other ones, they're doing a lead play. This one's a lead play going out wide to the left.
Isaac Steenstra takes it in for the two-point conversion, and Unity moves up 22-7.
It's going to be important for us to answer at this time. So hopefully get a drive where we don't have a few penalties, other things there, but just, keep our pass going, mix a run or two in there. The guys have done well so far. It's just hard when the other team is scoring every 2 minutes when they get the ball.
So we talked about it being senior night. We'll highlight many, and in fact all of the seniors tonight through the broadcast. Talked a little bit about Carter Spencer earlier. He is a wide receiver and defensive back for the Maroons, and he also plays basketball for the varsity here at Holland Christian. Great athlete.
He is. He's got some good speed, and it's, a coach will say as much as they want anything else, they want some speed there.
Atberger and Spencer.
And we'll see what Unity's done. So far, they've kind of, I'm going to say, not a real long distance kick. They are now. Now they're taking it and saying, we're going to just put as far as we can.
And they kick it deep to Spencer. And he meets a host of Unity defenders, but a nice return.
Yeah. Get it at the 28, 27, 28. It's good field position.
Mitch Sapana on the stop for the Crusaders.
And the Maroons looking for a nice extended drive and an answer. They will get the ball in the second half. And
now it's just a matter of getting the answer, though, first here in the second quarter. We're empty each time. Got 3 receivers towards the bench side, 2 on the top side. And quarterback draw. They must like that. Just see a little bit there as, they're leaving some seams open.
It was a little bit of a low snap, and Eli handled it really well and took it and got about 7 yards on first down there.
That's a great drive starter.
Gain of 8 on the play for the Crusaders. The Maroons.
So we'll call it a gain of 8 and second and short, and your playbook is really open at this point.
That's my favorite time when I was coaching to call plays. When you're second short means you can do anything. You say, let's just go for the first down, or let's take something a little bit deep.
Eli with a pass to Mitch Morheisen, who's going to take it over the 40 for a first down.
Yeah,
I liked his energy on that one.
Nice 5-6 yard play. Put his shoulder down, got an extra couple at the end there.
Met by Nolan Viss and Dylan DeHoop.
And as we're doing those quick outs, there's going to be a time where we're going to want to say, okay, can we take something a little further down?
Ball is spotted on the Maroon 34-yard line.
Good field position. I think we like being on the left hash a little more. With a right-handed quarterback, that gives you more room to roll out to the right side.
And Aberger in motion, and a handoff to Conklin up the middle. Conklin running hard to the 50.
Yeah, that's a good long 6-yard run. And they did that off the motion where they've thrown that pass in the flat to Aberger. So when you start getting success on one play, it just opens more things up.
Gainage of yardage on the play brings up a now 2nd and 4 for the Maroons. Ball is spotted on center court.
And another handoff to Conklin.
Nice hold there. Yeah, that's a 10-yarder. So
yeah, he hit that hole hard.
He did. He was going, and when you can get through the hole and you don't get hit till about 5 yards down the field, that's when you're going to be successful.
Nice back-to-back plays by the OK All Blue Conference performer. Conklin's been a great leader for the team.
And he's a kid that likes football. As a senior, I know he is just a person that's enjoyed the game and plays it hard.
Yeah, it's good to see him out there and healthy again. He missed a game earlier this season. Actually, I think he played just long snapper in the game that he missed. And there he is again.
Yeah, that time he didn't, he had to pick his hole just a little bit. If you're watching, you saw a little pause. He stayed low, so you couldn't see where it was. And then he did a nice sidestep to his right to move himself on. So sometimes when there's that seam, you can just go right downhill, as you had talked about.
Of 4 on the play brings up a 2nd and 6.
And 2nd and 6 for the Maroons. And a quick pass to Smits.
Yeah. Connor did a good job of, getting an extra yard or two.
And Connor looks like he had enough for a first down, although the refs are...
The far ref thought it, but I think on this side they're saying, hey, he's a yard short.
5 yards on the play.
So a quick third down snap by Boyce, who takes him over the 30.
That's going to be your marker for the first down.
They'll get the first down there.
And Howland Christian's done that a few times. A quick quarterback sneak, a little Conklin push from behind. It's been overall successful for him.
And I like how they get right up to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and Unity only has 4 down people there. They're not looking to stop the short run. Where Howland Christian is looking to say, hey, let's just keep this drive going, and I like it. I wouldn't mind if it took 6 more minutes to get in the end zone.
And another 4 downs for Howland coming up here, Howland Christian. And Boyce, although
motion there
blew the call, blew the play dead before it even started. And it's not a drive killer, but it's a little bit of headwind.
You do. Now it just means you got to make up that 5 yards somewhere. And as you notice on the last one, we did a quick quarterback sneak to get to the first down. So now instead of being that quick quarterback sneak, you would say, oh, I need 6 yards now. So it changes the strategies of what you can do a little bit. Still got plenty of time, plenty of downs, and we are, as we said, now in 4 down territory.
So 1st and 15 for Boyce. As he sends Aberger in motion, and handoff to Conklin again. This time Conklin's
I think that was Spencer this time, Carter Spencer.
Was that Spencer that time?
He's not going to have quite the same size to go through, but if he can get by that first one, he's going to have that little extra burst speed. Got 2.
2nd down, call it now 13 for the Maroons.
So a little bit of a change of pace back there with Spencer after Conklin hard hitting up the middle.
Conklin's going to be a little more power for us, and Carter's going to have just that little more touch of that breakaway speed. There's a reverse coming, so let's see if he can turn it up.
Aberger gets around the end and takes it out to the 25, 24-yard line there.
Yeah, and so now you've got yourself 3rd and 5. Again, nice manageable. He did a nice job of just avoiding that tackle in the backfield, and good play. Something that they probably haven't seen too much before.
Yeah, and we go to 3rd down and 5. It's manageable. Again, 2 down territory.
To do it. And you'd love to get it on this one, but the main thing is you just say, okay, let's make sure whatever we do is going forward.
Eli with a quick pass.
Yep, hit it nice there.
There to Spencer.
Got it on the flat. That was one that they were pushing deep. You know, sometimes you see that one out there where we're kind of coming back. This time we had everybody pushing deep, so that gets your D-backs going there. And then when you do that quick back throw, shoulder throw, opened up nice for 8 yards.
And a first down into
red zone.
Red zone. And a nice drive here by the Maroons.
Very nice. Very nice. A nice answer. We just got to finish in the end zone here. But, again, I wouldn't mind taking a few more minutes off the clock. The time, though, hasn't been an issue for Unity right now. Their drives have all been 2 minutes.
And a pass out wide to Mitch Merheisen.
Did a good job when that pushed back, but what he did is he kept the blocker between him and the person that was trying to tackle him. So that made it so he could get that good extra push and the good extra read there. Looks like we're coming in a little bigger lineup here. We have 2 tight ends. I saw Ryder put number 32 or 33 on there one time in the beginning. And so it looks like we have a double tight end potential that we could have, where you have Brody Nelson on one side to the right, Ryder Gravenhoff to the left.
And Mitch Merheisen, a junior, nice size. And Boyce with a keeper. And he'll take it down to about the 7.
And that's, just inside. So that's your first down. So now it's 1st and goal. And I'd say that's probably the biggest package we have in doing that one, and a good running quarterback.
Yeah, Eli, a dual threat. He can hurt you with the run and the pass. And he's a junior, so he'll be back next year for the Maroons.
He has shown good maturity here as a quarterback. There's a lot to process back there.
So 1st and goal from the 6. As the Maroons look to cut into Unity's lead. And there's a handoff to Conklin.
Yep. That was a nice one. It was intended to go left, and there was that traffic jam there, and he just made a nice, good vision, cut himself back to the right, turned something that could have been nothing into 3 yards. And everything, if it just keeps moving forward, we're happy people.
2nd and goal from the 3 in the Crusader territory.
Key is, though, we still got to make sure we end in the end zone. Field goals, when Unity's scoring touchdowns and 2s, the last 2, aren't going to keep you in the battle.
And a pass to Aberger, who makes a nice move to get around the Unity defender and gets just past the line of scrimmage, down to the 2.
Yeah, gained a yard, which could have lost 3 or 4. So he's got pretty good ability to change direction there. Sometimes almost call them like jump cuts. Unity called the timeout. They're just...
Coach Craig Tibby wants to regroup with his defense on an important 3rd down coming up.
3rd and 2, because they're sitting there saying, hey, if we keep them out of the end zone, we're going to keep our couple-score lead, where if we let them in, then all of a sudden the game still becomes a game again. And if they stop us, they're going to sit there and say, if we can take it down, we're going to be in total control. So going to be interesting to see what's happened. We've done more runs down here lately. I do like being on the left hash with your right-handed quarterback. That will give you the chance to roll out nicely if you want to give yourself, the quarterback, that option of run or pass. Also gives you, I'm going to say, a nice view across that side of the end zone. To do the wide receiver screen now is a little bit harder because they don't have to worry about you driving deep behind them. So, right now a D-back will, when you're on the field, will keep you in front of them. But once you get past them, they don't mind being in front of you at that time because they know you can't go that deep. And that means the quarterback has to kind of loop it in over top. So, we're hoping we can create a seam. And it looks like we are set up to go to the right.
So here we go. Eli rolls to the right. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be met by a Unity defender almost immediately.
And Unity's calling timeout again. And the reason Unity's calling timeout is they're just preserving time for their offense. And, they're saying score or not score. We want to just make sure we have time to take the ball wherever we have to, whether it's after you score or not. And we've got a decent field goal kicker, but I'm thinking we're going to probably go for that touchdown. And that one, I don't think he had the run-pass option. It looked like he was running all the way. It looked more like let's take the quarterback and let's just sweep it to the right.
Yep.
This next time, we'll see. And it's always guessing games. I know as a coach, when I was calling them, sometimes whatever you called seemed to go just right. And other times it's like, it was a good defensive play by the Unity player there. He came off the end, and he just came cracking down hard. And there was nothing that Eli could do on that play.
Yeah, game reset. Unity has scored on their 3 possessions. This is Highland Christian's third. They scored on our opening possession and came up empty with an interception on the second. An important fourth down here for the Maroons as they seek to stay in this thing.
Yes, you want to keep yourself in close contact, and 2 scores, not too bad, but it gets to be of a challenge. So a score here is really important. Be interesting to see if you want to roll right, get something coming back to the backside here.
And another timeout by Coach Tibby. I mean, you can't keep him.
No, but he might have wanted one for later on when they're doing it, but I think he maybe just wanted to see how they were going to line up. And Coach Kuipers will probably use the same, and this is a great time to, you don't want to outthink yourself, but you might say, well, let's throw a little different wrinkle in here. This is one that I'd be tempted to say, let's go right, let's take our tight end on the backside, come down, and then kind of go back. And we used to call it an X corner type of stuff there where, normally the black and down, keep the thing going this way and then hit out there. So
yeah, so you got everything going left, but then you got your
other one coming back. So yeah, we'd be flowing to the right there and get your tight end back. And we'll see. It's you can say so many things, but the first thing we're going to need is good protection. Then it's just a matter of finding somebody available.
Right. Great to see the pep band in action there during the break. And the Highland Christian faithful in pink there, hoping to see their classmates put some points on the board in this possession. And a fake handoff to Conklin, and over the middle. An interception, but there's a flag in the end zone. Hopefully a holding or
interference, pass interference. So if it is, that's one when it's in zone. Typically, I know at the pro level.
However, there is a penalty marker on the play.
And I don't know.
It looks like Aberger's happy. He must have heard what the.
I'm not sure if here though if it's an automatic first down.
It is a hold.
It is a hold,
yep.
But I'm not sure if it's just half the distance of the goal and redo fourth down. Because at the pro level, this would be automatic first down. I'm thinking here it's going to be halfway to the goal and still fourth down.
But halfway
puts you on the 2.
Puts you at that 2-point conversion kind of a distance, and now's the time to pull out your best 2-point conversion, if you will.
Yeah, it's still, this is where the pro game is so different, because all of a sudden there it would have been automatic first down. Then you say, oh, I got 4 more tries.
Well, we got to dial up Mark Ewell on this, and just MHSAA and say, hey, we recommend a rule change for 2023.
At least, let's just say for this game only.
Yeah, for this game only. All right, under center, Eli looking to draw them offsides. And you know what? They get a flag.
Okay,
and that's a great play, right?
Yeah, it was just something to change the pace here a little bit. Now you're looking at 4th and 1. And it's still a yard you got to get. And as the coach, you're sitting there saying, okay, do we want to do a quick dive? Do we think we can get that? Do we want to do our, again, sprint out to the right?
Yeah, or you know, and you love it. It's the trenches, right? Or let's go mano a mano here, and let's go Boyce right up the middle, and Conklin pushing them over the over the goal line.
They're going to be a little bit tighter though on us right now.
Yeah, they tried to push him in, and I'm not sure that he got there. We're waiting for the officials' mark, and it looks like Unity.
They are saying
has
just
stopped
short.
them.
Just short. And I don't know if the official from the outside can see completely or not. It's a hard spot to be.
Turnover on downs.
And the Unity offense will come on the field 99.5 yards away. And an opportunity for the Maroons to
This is a big play.
Respond.
This is a big play right now. If you can do anything for negative yardage, that's where you get your safety. Big part right down here is you want to stop them.
And a little bit.
And even stopping them so they do not score this drive is big, because keeping the score to a 2-score game.
Tibby with a handoff around the end. And an important tackle there, keeping Unity in bounds. I mean, you know, they'll get a first down, the clock will stop until they set it. But
now it starts right now, so the official's winding it. But that's where, again, them having the no-huddle offense, and he did out of bounds.
And Tibby kept it.
If we can keep them in these 3, 4, 5, 6-yard plays, we're going to be okay. You know, not scoring was, you know, a little bit challenging here, but if we can have them not scoring, we get the ball the second half, we can still put ourselves back in it.
And a handoff up the middle. And a lot of room there for Unity.
Connor at least tracked him down
Connor tracked down Nolan Viss.
That was a big tackle there. Hard part now is time's not an issue anymore.
Yeah, Viss shot through there, and a big gain all the way down to the Maroons 26. And the refs just stop and allow the chain gang to get caught up. And Tibby going to pass. He's got a wide open back.
Yeah, it's the same kind of play.
Isaac Steenstra takes it in for the touchdown.
That's one of those, again, where you've kind of, I'm going to say a lot of times he's doing a kick-out block when it's coming to his side. Then all of a sudden, instead of doing that, you just run past the D-back. So.
And Unity goes up 28-7.
So it's going to be important for us right now. You know, hopefully you can stop the 2-point. Because if they get the 2-point, then after a while we're going to have to go from kicking to going for 2 ourselves.
And Tibby hands off around the end.
Nice tackle.
Nice
tackle. Not sure who that was that came up and over, but okay.
Yeah, it looks like it was Spencer that made the stop.
He did.
I shot through there, and
I thought, okay, he's in. He beat that first one, and Carter did a great play there.
Shut Steenster down at the 1, and yeah, so that, you know, let's 28-7. We're down 3 scores. We're going to get the ball now. Maybe we can go down and get a touchdown, and then get the ball and start the second.
Now you've got it. You've got to just say, hey, we can't say let's play for the second half. Let's play for the end of the first. And we've got 2 timeouts. We're going to have to do a drive a little bit faster than we've done. But the first thing anytime you're getting this next one going is that first down. is the one that will say, because the one thing we don't want to do is turn the ball back to Unity either. But you just got to get that first down, and I'm hoping at half kind of that we can make that little adjustment there to get our control of the D line a little better.
And Abberger back for the Maroons.
And Unity kicks it off deep. Abberger receives it. And a little bit of room. You know, he dances a little bit and gets out to the 26.
Yeah. They've got, I'm surprised they were doing the short kick so much because they've got a decent leg on him. He put him inside the 5 there. So now it's a matter of the Maroons. We've got, a minute 42, 2 timeouts, and a ways to go, but something that can happen. We got to get a little bigger play here. But anytime you're starting these drives that end halves or anything else, getting that first down is really the big down to start with. Unity will be playing off a little bit, so hopefully we can get some first downs, possibly out of bounds.
Eli in the shotgun. And he'll keep it. And takes it up just shy of the 30.
Yeah.
Unity well defended that. Didn't have a lot of options to throw, but he made something out of it.
Yeah, he did. You could see him do a little pump fake to try to get Unity to come up, but Unity said, hey, we're not going to bite on it at this time of the game.
Down and 6.
So the clock is ticking.
And as a coach, you want to kind of keep it moving right now to a point.
And Eli getting some pressure, and he's going to be taken down.
Because what you don't want to do is give Unity the ball back this half for sure.
And that was Peter Markfleur that took Eli down.
So right now, unless we get a first down, you want to stay inbounds, that you just say, it's done for the half. We don't want to give Unity that ball back. We still would like to get that first down and possibly have something else happen.
And Eli rolls out right, passes it across the middle.
And this is where you just say, okay, clock, here's your 28 seconds. I mean, you can run a play. The play I would run, though, would be with about 5 seconds to go. That either we get a first down, break something, penalty. You can't end the half on a defensive penalty, so anything like that, they might try a play or they might just say, let's go in.
Yeah, Kuipers might call a timeout.
It looks like he's calling a timeout with about 4 seconds to go. 3. Yeah. So he's calling a timeout. This one right down here, if something happens that we get a good play, a defensive penalty cannot end a half. So let's say we get a nice play, they do a face mask or something else, so then you gain another 15 on top of it. Then you give yourself the chance to go down there. So it's one of those that you do, but the last thing you want to do right down here is say, let's give Unity a chance to have the ball back.
Right.
So I mean, if we had just come up right to the ball at there, and did they give us? I'm confused. Okay, I think the officials were first. I saw the line chains moving there, but it's it's 4th and about 5, and if you turned it over right there, all of a sudden Unity says, okay, we've got 2-3 plays right now.
Right.
Because once you turn the ball over on downs, the clock stops.
Yeah, and to your point, Kuipers let the clock go down to the point where there will not be another play unless, to your point, there's a penalty on the field, or we score a touchdown, then there'll be another play with the extra point.
Yeah, but that will be an untimed.
What do you got, a hook and ladder here, or multiple laterals? You see that in the game these days.
Yeah, those are more at the end of a game type thing. Hook and ladder though is a good play right here. Just depends what you have warmed, what you've done and played with already.
And Eli back, he rolls to his left, eluding some defenders, and he's going to just run the ball out of bounds. Smart play just to be done with it. There wasn't anything there downfield. And we go to halftime on senior night. Unity up 28 8-7. You know, Holland Christian started off strong, and it's a second quarter that we're just glad that it's over. Now we can get into halftime and regroup.
Yeah, and that stop there as we sit on that half-yard line, that was a big one for Unity, and Unity has just a little more size than us. So when you're trying to do that push, it's hard when you're giving up a few pounds at every spot. So
yeah, so we're gonna take a break. We'll be back just before the start of the second half with some halftime stats and with some observations as we go into the second half of tonight's game. Stay with us. We'll be back in a few.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Holland Christian High School for Friday night football. Of course, soccer is on tonight, but that's all right. Welcome to Holland Christian, and I got a special guest here tonight, head coach, Holland Christian High School varsity football, Coach Kuipers. So, Coach Kuipers, we were just talking a little bit ago about your seniors. I know we have 8, and so then, for instance, what are we looking at with the seniors Friday night as their last home game at the high school?
Well, thanks, Richard. Thanks for having me on. Yeah, we have 8 seniors this year. They've put a lot into their football careers. They've worked really hard at it, dedicated themselves to the sport, to the team. You know, it's been interesting for those guys. As freshmen, we asked them to play up, playing JV football. As sophomores, we asked them to play up, playing varsity football. So they've been 3-year varsity players, and I've gotten to know them really well as football players, but also as men. A great group of guys, and it's been a fun year working with those guys this year, their senior year, when they can finally play against, they're the old guys now, playing against the younger guys, and they've really asserted themselves, been great leaders in our program, and had a great season.
Okay, so then, for instance, I know we have Unity here. That's a big rivalry for football. What are we looking at? I know that they run the wing T. So then, for instance, how do we defend that? And what's the prerogative of the game Friday night? What are we looking at?
Yeah, so Unity does run wing T. They have a very good offense. Last year, they set a record for the most points scored in a season for any high school in the state of Michigan on their way to Ford Field, where they got beat in the state finals. They scored over 800 points in the season, which is just crazy. Defending the wing T is tough. You have to be responsible. You have to do your job over and over and over. To add on to that, they're going to run no huddle at us and try to speed up the tempo, get as many plays in as possible. 3 years ago when these seniors were freshmen, we beat these guys on our homecoming 28-14. And it's one of the last times these guys have been beat in the regular season in our conference. And so the goal is to do the same thing we did that night, and that's be physical, play responsibility football, and get the W.
Okay, then, for instance, I know I talked to you about this before, too. The guys have to keep their heads up, and I don't know why. It feels like at school and stuff, they keep their heads down. Can we explain that a little bit? Like at the football game, they have to keep their heads up to play like a good game. Otherwise, I just feel like they're going to keep their heads down and we're going to lose. But I feel like we got potential to beat Unity. So what do you think about that one?
I guess I'm going to disagree with you there, Richard. I think that this is a group of guys that has been very positive. I think the culture around this team is one of belief and one of a belief in each other, a trust in each other, and so we've had great comebacks because of that. I think our game 2 weeks ago on homecoming when we beat Spring Lake in the last minute of the game last week, to come back from behind and to tie the game at 27 on a 4th down play. We've shown growth and the ability to be resilient in the face of adversity.
Awesome. Thanks for watching. Go Maroons, and stay tuned for varsity football. Holland Christian versus Unity.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give another round of applause for our 3rd and 4th grade flag football players, the future of Maroons football.
So we'll have 3 minutes.
Welcome back to Holland Christian as the Maroons and Satyrs get ready for second half of action. The first half went to Unity 28-7, and some first half observations, Kurt.
You know, the big one was when we were down to that 1 yard line that we didn't quite push that one in, and then they had a couple big plays that gave them a score back. So that's a quick flip of two scores there. We get this kickoff second half. Going to be important that we maintain possession, get it in the end zone, and we got to find a way to stop them. We haven't done that yet. We've had some plays of success, but we haven't had a series of success against them. They, just have a little more firepower. They've got some pretty good-sized linemen that are opening some decent holes for them. And like I'm a person, I like the offense. So, as most fans would say, oh, that's kind of boring. I think, oh, man, look at them run, look at them block, look at the other stuff there. And they're doing it well right now. And they're, they started the year off with 2 losses, but the losses they started with were against state powers. Unity has gotten themselves, as they lost in the finals last year and they won it a few years ago, that they consider, oh, we want to get that conference, we want to get this. And they're looking right now to say, okay, we'll get this next game, and they're looking to the end of the year in the conference when they'll face a West Catholic team that currently is 6-0, and they'll say, hey, that's where we want to be. We want to be on top of that.
Yeah, West Catholic at playing Fruitport tonight, actually, and that'll be a little bit of resistance for the West Catholic Falcons, but yeah, Unity and West Catholic on a collision course at the end of the year.
Yeah, and there's other good ones along the way, so you can't overlook anybody. And right now, it's going to be important as we receive this that we find a way to take it down. And we, actually had decent statistics. Boyce was 13 out of 16 passing, for 140 yards, so that's not bad offense. We've had another 45 yards on the ground, so again, not bad offense, but we've got to find a way to make sure we end in the end zone.
So here we go, Unity kicking off from left to right on your TV. And Aberger and Spencer back deep for the Maroons in an all-important first drive of the second half.
Spencer and Aberger back for the Maroons.
Maroons down 3 scores. And we're underway in the second half.
It is a line drive kick, and he does a good job to field that. And, had a little seam going, so got himself to the 30. Good spot, good field position.
And Spencer gives the Maroons decent field position up over the 30.
First and 10.
And actually will be marked right at the 30, and Eli brings
on the 30.
his team on the field.
So, looks like we've got 4 receivers. Doing a little motion there. 3 receivers to the right side, 2 to the left of our offensive set. Motioning somebody into the backfield there. You got Hoekstra coming back there.
And
quick
handoff to Hoekstra.
Nice little move to have somebody miss. Gets 4 yards. So a good first down.
Met by Hugo Waynerwall.
So we mentioned it was senior night. We want to highlight each one of the players. Connor Smits is the next one we want to highlight. Number 10, he's a senior and a wide receiver and defensive back. And Kurt, I know you know him really well.
Yeah, that's my nephew, and I was impressed there as he chased down that back just before half. I'm thinking, okay, and he showed some good speed and basically a good heart there doing that part.
Really solid speed. Connor also plays baseball for Holland Christian and looking to play football next year in college.
He has always loved the game.
And Boyce with the pass that gets knocked down at the line of scrimmage. Luckily, it didn't get picked off.
Yeah, that one there, and we're glad it just was going backwards into the ground. We didn't want to catch that because that would have been just some negative yardage for us.
And we move to 3rd down and 6.
3rd and 6.
So this is a big play, and we want to keep moving it. We want to get that first down. So you got 2 receivers here to the bottom, 2 to the top. Got the back next to the quarterback there.
And Eli with a tip, and that time it was intercepted.
Yeah.
This time by Jared Vanderswag from Unity. He's a senior, and he takes it down.
Balls, anytime something goes in the air like that, that is, that's the tip drill that defense has work on. And the other guy was alert enough to say, there it's going, and it's good by Conklin coming back to make the tackle.
And that was all brought on by some pretty good pressure by the Unity.
And they're not getting them to them, but they're putting their arms up. And you get a good-sized guy jumping, and that's the challenge of passing more over the middle. That's sometimes why you see them hit the outside, because there you have a better vision and less traffic.
So Unity dialing up the pressure, and now they have their first possession of the second half, and there's your dive.
Yep, that is the dive. You'll see it a lot of times they're doing leads, but that one's going to hit quicker. You don't have as much coming in front, and it's just going to be 2 or 3 linemen trying to get a quick seam and get it into the D-backs right away.
And Steenstra's had some success tonight, already having a few touchdowns. Maroons looking to make a stop. And there's the handoff to Steenstra. He bullies his way in over the goal line and scores for Unity.
And you'll see that, the difference of that, you'll see lead blockers, everybody else. So then you get a whole momentum going to the left side there, where the other one was him doing a dive straight ahead of him. So you've got so many varieties of ways that you can hit a variety of holes there.
Unity up 34-7, and they will attempt a two-point conversion. And Tibby keeps it and takes it into the end zone for the successful two-point conversion. Unity up 36-7 early in the second half. Not the way that the Maroons wanted to start.
No, not what you're hoping for. Now it's a matter of saying, okay, let's try to right the ship and let's get some first downs. And it takes just, you got to do one first down at a time. You can't say, oh, we got to get our 29-point play. We've got to just get one play at a time and start to do that. And it's tough against a good football team like Unity.
As we mentioned, Unity got to the state championship last year. They lost in the finals to a quality Chelsea team.
Yeah, and it was, I know I was watching that game, and I remember the Chelsea coach saying, oh, man, we got to stop it at the start of the next half. We don't want to go down by 28 points, and they did. And Chelsea came back, had a good passing game, and did things. So, you know, the game's never over until you've had the last quarter end, but we've got to make some things happen here. So it's going to be important that the Maroons keep their heads up and get themselves going. This is the perfect place to start.
And a nice run.
That's a nice momentum one right there, and I think he's going to get an extra 15 tacked on out of bounds.
Hamburger shows some good speed there, takes it up over the 45, but to your point, I think we're going to get some extra yardage off of little extracurriculars after that play was over.
You know, it's one thing if you tackle them right on the edge, but they're 3-4 yards out of bounds, and then you get that tackle going. So it's going to be that personal foul.
And that will take
to their 41. So that's the play you'd like to start it right there. So hard run by him, good effort, and Unity player just kept playing a little too long.
Yeah, Chelsea down 28. We're down 29. Anything can happen here, Kurt.
You do it. You take one play at a time. Take one play at a time, one drive at a time. Make some things happen.
Holland Christian has been to the state championship a couple times.
One time to the championship game, several times into the playoffs, into the districts and regionals and that type of stuff. So they've had some success. It's been a few years. I think it was against Spring Lake when you had that trivia question a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, and Holland Christian won the state championship back in 2008 as Eli looks long. Now he's going to take off with the ball and gets just back to the line of scrimmage. But, yeah, 2008 under Willie Sneed and quarterback A.J. Wessendorp.
That was a fun team to watch. You know, they went undefeated that year. Probably their closest battles along the way were with Unity. They, won a tight one in the conference, and then they won another tight one at the, thinking it was the regional level there. And I know Holland Christian had to come back late to win that game, and then they got to play a good Country Day team in the finals. I remember being there at the watching that game at Ford Field. That's a fun place to be.
Yeah, they won that game 35-20 against Country Day as the handoff.
Meta made some nice moves there. He made a couple people miss.
And some nice running by Hookstra.
Gained about, I'm going to say 7. Good 7 on that one, but he made a couple people miss. Meta is not a huge back, but he is pretty elusive, has good footwork.
Eli gets the play from Coach Kuipers and joins his team on the field for an all-important 3rd down and a 3. And again, we're in 4-down territory, but
we'd like to take care of it there as we're going.
Let's take care of it right here. Not a lot of room there for Hoekstra.
That one got bunched up. That one got bunched up quickly.
And he wanted a face mask, but didn't get the call.
So now you're looking at your
yardage on the play. We'll bring up a 4th and 4 for the Maroons.
Yeah, so we got a little more than that, about 5 or 6 to go. But as you had mentioned, it's that 4-down territory here. Two quick receivers on each side. You got your back in the backfield and Eli back there as well.
And Smits in motion. Eli rolls to his right and throws it to Smits. The sure-handed receiver catches it and gives the Maroons the first down.
Yep, that was big. Connor had a couple catches in the first half. I think as we're looking at seniors, Luke Mitchmerheisen had the most catches in the first half. Another, good, strong receiver there.
Yeah, Mitchmerheisen with 5 catches for 29 yards in the first half. And a nice first down pickup by the Maroons.
That's a big one. It's, again, just moving the chains, keeping it going there, always in that positive direction is very important.
Eli back to pass, looking deep, doesn't find anybody, and he's going to toss.
Did a nice little touch on it. Nice little touch. Almost got, I think slightly deflected by a Unity player, but hit it kind of in that spot. So just, I would say that's your lob basketball pass there, entry pass into the post.
He did a nice job of keeping his eyes up and eyes downfield.
That's hard to do when you got people coming at you.
And a first down into the red zone.
Now we got to finish it.
And yes, we've got to finish. You can see the students are still here in full force. Great to see them. And they're pink.
It's always fun Friday nights.
The pink out. HCLive. Enjoying a broadcast, watching the students and the fans and these players do their thing. Eli takes it up the middle.
I'm thinking
Unity.
the officials they did call it there. I didn't know. He was not saying anything as he came in. So.
And we'll see the replay here. Eli keeps it. And looked like his knee was down. But the Unity defender just grabbed it right out of his hands.
Yeah, they don't have instant replay to look at it there. But you didn't really see any official do anything, but.
Yeah, unfortunately, I thought his knee was down, his left knee was down. But, again, to your point, there's no replay in the high school game, and Unity will take over. And a handoff again there to Steenstra.
Good defensive play. Kept them at about 4. The hard part is when they start leaning on you and we say, hey, that's not a bad defensive play, and they're getting 4. That's just a little bit of a challenge, and we gotta get a little bit back the line of scrimmage here.
So in unfortunate sudden change as the Maroons were driving in Unity with a second down play, and they will move the chains. As we approach 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
First down, Crusaders.
Let's highlight a few of the other seniors. We've talked about Lucas. We've called Lucas Conklin's name tonight a few times.
Yeah, he was the leading ground gainer in the first half there. And he's a kid that likes to play football, likes to hit, does a lot of things for the Maroons there. He'll be that running back, lead blocker, long snapper, some linebacker, so a mix of a little of everything there.
Yeah, and we mentioned he got hurt earlier in the season, but his desire to play, wasn't able to play his usual running back position and be on the field, but he did participate as a long snapper, which is an important position.
It is. We had happened to see the week before when all of a sudden he went out in the game, and we're like, okay, what's happening here? All of a sudden our extra points weren't there and other things. So that was against Wayland, if I remember right. So.
And looks like Tibby keeps it around the left side and gets a first down.
Looks like there's going to be a long flag coming in back there. I'm going to say a hold. That's usually the spot, you know, and I was a little bit after the play, but.
Then Henry Steenwick, another senior for the Maroons, and tight end and D-line.
He's been out the last couple weeks. His, you know, it looks like an injured foot, leg somewhere in there. I know I've seen him hobbling around school a little bit. And that's too bad. He's an important part there. He plays some good defensive end and other things there. And, you know, so we can use all the linemen possible there.
And we've talked Brody Nelson this year.
Yeah, he's made some big catches as a tight end. He also will play kind of almost an outside linebacker out there, and again, has done some big plays for us. And that Spring Lake game, I remember that kind of that wheel route that he started us out with and got it like a 60-yard gain. So that's some big ones there.
Yeah, and then Sam Knott.
You know, he's the center on the offense. We'll play some linebacker on defense.
Tibby goes up top, and Steenstra catches the ball and takes the Unity Satyrs into Maroon territory.
You know, the previous times when he's thrown the ball, it's been to a wide open receiver. That time he actually threaded it into it there, and they did a good job of making a catch there.
A solid pass there by Tibby.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning, the senior Sam Knott, good lineman for us. The center, he will make the offensive line calls right away to kind of set up blocking assignments there. Very important. I know the coaches are very impressed with him.
And Gavin Vancouvering puts the Unity Satyrs on the board again.
And the difference that will happen right now, I mean, it gets that running clock because you're up by 35 in the second half. And you know, I've had running clock happen to me before, had it happen with me before. But this is a game where really we've been, I'm going to say, closer than that, what that would appear. But it's a matter of us trying to say, hey, can we put a drive together yet and try to keep ourselves going here?
Yeah, we look back to that third possession where we had that 4th and goal from the 1, and we weren't able to punch it in, and that was a big turning point in the game.
And that one, and also this last one here. You know, we're driving, we're inside the 15-yard line,
and Unity unsuccessful on the 2-point conversion as the ball goes in and out of the Satyrs' hands. So, yeah, a couple key plays in the game that really kind of turned this thing.
And, you know, as we have it, when you're, I'm going to say, the underdog, you got to have a few breaks go your way and make things happen, where Unity has, you know, they've made it their way and they've done what they wanted to do. So, you know, that combo, it's a hard one when you've got a good team and they're not making any mistakes. And, you know, not that we've done terrible mistakes, but we made a few penalties, a couple turnovers and that. So that's a harder one to come back from.
So Unity up 42-7. 5:45 left in the third on senior night at Holland Christian. Beautiful field out here. If you're watching for the first time or the first time in a long time, you can see the new field that was christened earlier this fall, and the Maroons have enjoyed having 4 home games on it this year.
And it's a beautiful field that, you know, if you'd been here before, you would know the track around it, and the track was getting pretty tired. So everybody in the track program was ready for something new, and that's now going to be behind the middle school, so just a little bit north from here. But I think the soccer players have enjoyed this new field more because it's wider. And, you know, I think before we had it almost the right width there, that as wide as you could have it, but, you know, you're right by the track. Now you've got, if you're looking on there, you see that black line along the sideline here, and you're like, that, you know, extends a few yards out on each side of a football field. And I know our soccer players enjoy that because they're used to that wider field, and it gives them more room to maneuver.
Speaking of soccer, the OK Blue Conference Championship will be right here Monday night as the Maroons take on Fruitport. And the Maroons can win the OK Blue outright with a win Monday night.
They can. They were tied for second with Spring Lake. Holland Christian had a few ties in conference against the top seed Unity and a couple other ones along the way. But they came back nicely here in the tournament.
And Fruitport beat Unity in a shootout on Wednesday night.
Which gives Holland Christian the chance to be the champion, because if they met Unity in the finals, win or lose, Unity would have had it. So I know the players are excited for that. It's always fun to have a trophy at the end where you get your team picture in, and so those are exciting. Conference championships, districts, all those things are kind of parts as an athlete that kind of gets you a little more excited.
Yeah, and some nice momentum going into the MHSAA playoffs.
But you can't look for the momentum until you take care of it on Monday night.
That's right. Always got to keep me grounded a little bit.
Yeah,
Get excited about these things, Kurt.
You get excited, but you can't have that before it's done, you know.
And a handoff up the middle. And a nice run by Spencer.
Yeah, I was looking at it. Looked like that burst of speed that was coming from Carter usually.
So Riley Brower, one of our seniors as well, offensive line and defensive line.
Yeah, and I mean the linemen, you don't get their names called as much, you know, and that's where I played all my life there. So it's one that aren't always appreciated the same, but it's a very important position, and I would always say the most important position. So that's
right.
that's coming from a line coach and a lineman. So.
Well, all the skill positions can't do their job without the line.
No, if you don't have the protection, not many things are happening.
And a little bit of confusion there, but Spencer makes it go. You know,
that's where
him and Eli had a little bit of a...
Not a smooth handoff, and that's called that mesh point. So the mesh point wasn't in the right spot there, but Spencer had the extra speed to get around the edge there.
And a nice first down into Unity territory. And the Maroons looking to capitalize after having a few possessions deep into Unity territory go for naught.
Yeah, that's the last couple have been there, so this is an important one to finish. That's that little deeper motion they've been using today, and Abaker put his foot down again. Just good ability to, pick a hole and seam and doing that. So that's probably been, he didn't have the most catches of the first half, but he had half the receiving yards.
He's shown a propensity to stop and start and elude defenders. And not only tonight, but all season long.
Yes, and that's the thing. When you're going at a pretty good speed and you can stop and change directions, you're gonna create a few extra running lanes for yourself.
Second down and short. And Spencer bounces it out. Not only gets a first down, but he gets about 5 yards.
Yes, he did a good one there. Again, they're trying to show that fake. So that motion has been something that's been added in the last couple of weeks there. Just, again, to give the defense something else to look at. And that's important as you do it, to show a few new things that the other teams have to say, okay, how are we going to stop this? What are we going to do there? And then for us, it's important to say, okay, as we put this in, what else can that lead to?
So first down from the Unity 31. And Eli with an empty backfield. And Spencer joins him. And he's looking up top, nobody there, but eludes a defender nicely.
He did well, because I thought, oh, he is...
He looked dead to rights there, didn't he?
He did. And he did a nice job of just stepping up, making number 8 miss, and taking what could have been a 5-yard loss into a 5-yard gain. So that's a nice way to flip the script there.
Eli has shown that elusiveness all year long, and it comes in handy for Holland Christian there.
It does. You know, when you're back there, as you had said, you got to keep your eyes up. You got to be looking downfield, but a quarterback's got to start to learn to feel the pressure too. And you know, when you're just feeling pressure, then you can't watch for receivers. So it's easier said than done sometimes.
With a fake, and he goes up top.
Just a little too long. Little too long. Had a receiver kind of in a zone. It was going to be a hard pass. And the one thing is, if you're going there, basic rule for quarterbacks is if you're throwing over the middle of the field, you'd sooner be a little lower because tip balls cause problems there. On the outside, you'd sooner be high than low because that low becomes the pick six the other way, and the high one sails harmlessly out of bounds. You want to get completions, but just a rule for the fan is overall for a quarterback is high and outside and low over the middle.
Yeah, and on 2nd and 5, that was worth a shot downfield.
It is. And if you're saying why the clock keep going there on that last incompletion, rule in high school is once you're ahead by 35 points, it's running clock until it gets below 35. So first downs, everything is the clock just will keep rolling here until Holland Christian scores, gets it down below 35 points. Then it all of a sudden goes back to the normal clock procedures.
Yeah, we talked about playoffs in soccer. Playoffs in football start October 28, districts the week of the 28th, or that 28th, and then November 5. And
yeah, there's 2 more games in the conference coming yet. And Holland Christian's sitting kind of right in the middle, where West Catholic and Unity are the 4-0 on top. And then I think there's a lot of 2-2 teams after that within the conference. This will put us at a 3-4 overall. Making the playoffs is a possibility yet. Some 5-4 teams will get in, but that means HC has got to win their last 2 games there.
Yeah, you know, the top 32 teams from each division go to the playoff. Holland Christian currently is 34th in D4. You know, lost tonight will drop them a little bit, but they have that opportunity. Winning the last 2 games
you gotta get,
could get them back in.
Got to get Fruitport, which is, you know, similar record to us coming in today, and if they're playing West, if they have a similar result, that you'll have 2 teams that are 3-4 and 2-3 in conference going against each other. And then the last one we'd end with was Allendale. And Allendale, good program, but, you know, it hasn't been quite as strong this year. So it's a couple games that are saying you're going to have to play well. You know, and the one thing I would say, this probably has been the only game all year where you'd say we really haven't been in it. But every other game you're saying, you know, we're within a score or 2 all the time. And so hopefully this one we'll get ourselves down, get a score going here.
And Spencer gives the Maroons a first down. And another handoff there to Spencer, who gets a couple yards around the left side. Yeah, Unity currently is 12th in Division 4 with 48 playoff points. Incidentally, South Christian is number 1 in Division 4 with 59.
I don't know when South Christian has their rendezvous with Catholic Central, but I think that's coming pretty soon, and that would be that'd be a fun game to see. You get some games like that when you get, you know, I probably was last week when you have a Zeeland West going against Mona Shores, and you get, you know, when you get some of the heavy hitters in the conference going against each other.
All right, 2nd and 8 from the 18. Eli brings Spencer into the backfield with him and fakes the handoff to him over the middle to a streaking Aberger, but just misses him coming across the middle in the end zone.
Just a little long there, but not bad. Again, it was in a spot where it's close that he could have caught it, but nobody else. And that's what you're looking for, is trying to always make sure you throw a ball where it's a possibility that your guy can get it, the defense cannot.
Yeah, you mentioned some quality teams on the west side. Rockford, Caledonia, both undefeated. They'll play each other here in a couple weeks. That'll be a game to see.
Yeah, the Red is always a conference that you're kind of excited about. It's, you know, the bigger schools in the area, and you know, When we used to play Rockford, we'd call them the University of Rockford. It's a beautiful big campus.
And rightly so.
I'll be right back. I'll be like, cool, do your thing. Yeah. You're learning from your master. Yeah. No. Oh, it's a timeout?
Delay a game, it looks like there.
And a delay of game on the Bruins won't make this third down any easier. That'll put them back to third
and about 13. And now the challenge is, again, as you said, we're 4-down territory. And then it's just a matter of us saying, okay, can we get 6, 7, 8 right now? Get that back, and then you're going 4 then on the next down there.
And Eli back to pass over the middle.
Oh, nice one.
And he finds his
Connor
receiver.
Smith, yeah. Good catch, good catch. And that's what Connor did there as well as a receiver, and that's what our receivers are pretty good at. They catch it with their hands. You don't want a ball to get in on your body. So once it hits your body, a lot of things can happen. You got shoulder pads, everything else. So did a nice job looking at his hands.
And Eli hands the ball off to Conklin up the middle for a touchdown. And nice to see there by the senior Smiths getting the catch and getting us in position, and then Conklin punching it in.
Another senior finishing off, and that's what you want to have. And right now, then you'll see the game and the time management will go back to traditional rules.
And the sophomore Caden Van Heis out to attempt the extra point. And successful as he so often is, dependable kicker for
very much so, very much so. And you see when you're watching it along the way, Unity has gone for the 2 points all the time, and they made half of them, which then puts them at the same spot as kicking all of them. So each coach will have their own philosophy.
Local automotive supplier Gentex is hiring.
So we've highlighted all of the seniors except for one, Christian Hooksema, number 82, tight end and linebacker.
Yeah, again, important positions. That that size player, the tight end is usually going to be a little taller, going to have some good reach, some good hands there, and that linebacker, you'll see them kind of people that will circle to the ball. They'll be off the line of scrimmage, coming up and filling and doing that. So important player there as you have it, and important positions.
And congratulations to all of the seniors for being such an important part of Holland Christian football and the Holland Christian community. Great student athletes, all of them.
You got it. And right now, as we just mentioned Christian's name, he's going out on the kickoff team there. He is the person lined up right next to your kicker. And that's going to be a laner coming down, and important that you maintain your spot.
And we will, as it appears, see an onside kick.
That's a reasonable guess. It's bouncing nice.
Captain Obvious here. And it looks like the Unity Satyrs, although both teams are pointing in their direction.
It did not go far enough that it would have been that we could have recovered it without a Unity player touching it. So
it's got to go 10 yards.
It's got to go 10 yards. And that one was just that looks like my golf shot when I would do it. Just the ball kind of, hitting the ground and just spinning a lot. But as you do it there, if a Unity player does touch it, then it becomes a free ball for anybody to get.
So Unity will take over at the 50, up 42-14 in the fourth quarter. And a handoff up the middle to number 34, Max Vancouvering. He's a sophomore for the Satyrs.
It sounds like when you're saying it most of the time, there's a lot of sophomores.
There's a lot of sophomores. I'm sure they're taking advantage of the 5-quarter rule as well.
Possible, and it might be some of these kids. The way when I'm seeing some of those early ones on there, 25, Steenstra, you know, he's playing all 4 quarters on the varsity. He's not playing any time with the JV. And when you have that, when your starters, if they're starting like that in the backfield, you're going to want to make sure you have them on the varsity. Ultimately, the place where a program is decided is you want to put everything towards the varsity as much as you can. And, you know, we'll have some sophomores that will do double duty, but we'll have some sophomores that are also just on the varsity only.
And Vancouvering with a carry for the Satyrs gives them a 2nd down and 1 on the 20 of the Maroons. Holland Christian with 2 road games to end the regular season. They travel to Allendale next week and end the year at Fruitport. Fruitport with a brand new field as well, just like Holland Christian. While Unity, they will play Spring Lake at home next week and finish the season at West Catholic in what should be the game to decide who wins the OK Blue this year.
Yeah, you never know along the way, though. I know, like Holland Christian, we played West 28-14. So you never can overlook somebody along the way. That's what every coach will always say, and you got to just convince your players all the time to make sure you're taking care of business one game at a time.
And Holland Christian is scored on again here as Cam Vrujink takes it in.
Just that quick little dive again right there. And, you know, Unity is very proficient at offense. They do a good job running it here. And, they, you know, some good athletes, and they are just practicing that kind of style of offense. Again, the average fan probably thinks that's not as exciting. The line coach says, "Hey, this is where things are happening here."
Right. Well, it's an effective offense.
It is. It is. You'll see several teams around. Zeeland West is probably the one that runs it as well as anybody. The challenge comes when you get some D lines that are bigger than your offensive line and can close it down. So it's one of those things that offensively, you know, you're going to see everything in tight, and that's where the keep outs and the other things take place. So once again, Unity has expanded the lead to 35. So once after the kickoff is done, it will be that running clock again.
So 49-14. Just under 7 minutes left in the game. On senior night, the final home game for the Maroons this year. And they'll continue to battle. You know, one thing that we've appreciated about the Maroons is they just don't give up. They're always going to fight. You know, we saw it in that play where Smits ran that kid down, and that's just a...
It'd been easier to say, "Oh, you got us there," but that shows heart all the time as you do it.
Yeah, it's just a picture of what the rest of the team is and embodies. And the Maroons, Spencer gets it.
Good lane.
Gets a lane and gets out wide, up over the 40 to the 45. A host of Unity defenders meet him, but not after he has a nice kickoff return.
And I don't know how the camera view was for you, but that's one of those that you could all of a sudden see. He was going to the middle, and all of a sudden to his right, a nice hole opened up. And that's a challenge for a back to see that, because you know, when everything's going full speed and all of a sudden to make that cut, that takes a little bit of experience and practice.
And Eli with a 1st and 10 at the 45. Steps back and throws it to Spencer with a nice little move.
Yeah, very
up over
good.
the 50, down to the 40.
And you see some linemen out in front there, so that that's not an easy thing to do because that's kind of the wide receiver screen. But after the other guys have blocked, the ball is gone. The lineman can go downfield. Linemen cannot go downfield until a ball has been thrown. Otherwise, you get that illegal receiver downfield. But I was seeing Knott and I think Plackmeyer's in front of that one nicely. So that was two linemen
with a small convoy.
Yeah, but that's, you know, as a line coach, you're excited when your players do not just watch the game, that they're playing hard in it all the time. And sometimes after it's not in your zone, it's easy to say, oh, somebody else will do it. But that was impressive by those two guys getting out in front of that one.
And Eli goes right back to Spencer with about a 10-yard catch there. And
again, all good
gets
things.
the first down.
Keep practicing some plays that you're going to be using and everything else. So that's good stuff.
Spencer with some really nice back-to-back plays after a kickoff return. And Eli throws it in the flat there to Hoekstra, who takes it down inside the 10 to the 5.
It looks like it's going to be 1st and goal there.
And yes, it is 1st and goal for the Maroons, looking to score on their 2nd consecutive possession. Unfortunately, a little bit too late, Kurt, but again, it speaks to the heart that this team has.
And that's important, that your guys will say, I'm going to keep going until the end. As a coach, you're always happy when you battle.
Hand off to Hoekstra.
Number 2, Meta Hoekstra, the ball carrier for the Maroons.
Met by a wall of Satyrs.
From Unity.
But he gets the Maroons inside the 3.
Yeah, and that's our goal here. Again, get that score back in, get yourself into the 20s, and stop the running clock.
And Eli gives the ball again to Hoekstra, and it doesn't have any room to run.
There was nothing there on that one, and that's the thing that can happen sometimes. Our spread offense is just that. We're spreading everybody out, and then you've got it basically coming to one-on-one block, a different blocking scheme than Unity would use, where they're going to be attacking a spot with a convoy of players.
So 3rd and goal
from the 5.
3 receivers to the right of Eli, and he rolls that way and throws it into the end zone.
Oh, shoot. Had it, could not quite take it down. So
Mitch
in the hands,
so close.
In the hands. The D-back did a nice job of kind of raking across the arms as you come down. So that's a play you make without somebody right on you, but when they're right on you like that, that's a little more of a challenge.
Kuipers gives some direction to Eli. And we're just under 2 minutes left in the game. Maroons knocking on the door. And a score here would be a nice way to end what's been a bit of a tough, challenging evening.
Yes, it would. You like to get that one up there, get yourself into the 20s. And oh, nice over the top.
Fake handoff, and so cool to go right back.
Actually, that one
over the middle.
Yeah, I think that one was to Ryder, who has a different number
Ryder
to play tight end.
Yeah, absolutely. He wanted to get on the other side of the ball. So often we call his name on defense.
Yeah, he's a good linebacker there. But I think little different pattern there, just the tight end leaking out. That one that didn't look like a smooth exchange, and there was a lot of people coming in. So,
yeah, but a great touchdown pass by Eli over to Ryder, and the Maroons have 20. Unity with 49. You want to stay with us right after the broadcast. You know, we want to give a lot of credit to HCLive and the team with HCLive that's been with us all year long. They certainly cover other sports as well, but want to highlight the team tonight. We'll do that right after the game.
Yeah, it takes a lot of effort. You've got a lot of people on different cameras. You'll see some replays happening. You'll see a lot of other stuff. And, you know, as we look around this little area we're in, there's all kinds of wires all over the place that somebody had to set up, you know, starting a few hours back.
Yeah, quality production by the team, not only tonight but all year. Allows you to watch the game wherever you may be.
Unity's just kind of saying, hey, I think it's, you know, they've got, what, 10 people up close. So that is definitely your onside kick kind of reception group. And this is where, as a coach, with a minute 14, you might say, let's just put it long.
Yeah, let's just kick it deep and finish things off. And that's what they do.
And that was just classy by Unity. They're just saying, okay, let's just do it. My guess is we'll probably see, I don't know. I mean, sometimes they do victory formations. Sometimes it will be, you know, we got other kids playing right now. Let's just give them a chance to carry the ball too.
Yeah, and Dylan Vandergoot receives it and takes a knee at the 15. And to your point, Kurt, we most likely will see a victory formation. And a new QB, James Carroll, out.
He was in for the last drive also. So, I mean, this is important as a coach that you get some of those younger kids that chance to play in game action.
And a handoff up the middle, around the left there, actually. And Unity content to just kill the clock.
Yeah, they're not in a hurry. They're huddling now. They're just saying, let's take it. But as a coach, this is where you get a chance for some other linemen to be in. You got a new quarterback, and everybody knows you cannot have too many people with experience there. You know, the quarterback, their starter currently is the coach's son, who's a senior this year. So you want to keep getting people ready for the next one.
And there's your knee.
You got it. And so, yeah, good game. Unity proved just with no mistakes and other stuff to be a little too tough for us at that time. We had a couple hard plays where, you know, that an interception, a fumble, a stop right on the goal line. Those right there were just, you know, things that had to flip the other way for us to be in that game.
So Holland Christian will move to 3-4, 2-3 in the OK Blue. Unity, meanwhile, will move to 5-2, 5-0 in the OK Blue as the teams line up to share each other's, you know, just giving each other, you know, hey, a great game. And, you know, a lot of these kids know each other and have grown up playing sports against each other. And so solid act of
sportsmanship
at the end.
And that's always a fun thing when you know some people and you play. It's a lot more fun to be on the winning side then, but it's fun to play some people you know.
Kurt, it's been a great season, and again brought to you by Holland Christian, HCLive. We want to give a shout out to all of the camera folks. We've got Matthew on camera 1 tonight, Cassie on camera 2, and Asa on camera 3. Hey, thank you all for doing what you do. Fantastic shot.
Getting a little different variety here. That's good. That's good. And they work hard. Yeah, we
Fantastic. All of the HCLive team, you know, we've got more behind the scenes as well. Certainly Adam Wassink directing the whole night tonight. He does a fantastic job. We've seen him at other games. Matthew Claver, you saw Julian Loduca, Nathan Van Klompenberg, Cassie Evenhouse, Asa Muma, and Ethan Hemeke. Great job. Thanks also to Dan Voss. Again, we call him visionary. He was, you know, started this thing many years ago, and it continues to bring great sport to all of us across West Michigan, the state, and the country.
It gives kids such an opportunity to try some stuff that otherwise you'd say, oh, you can't do that till a later time. And so now you get a chance to try it here already in high school and say, that might be something I want to go into in the future. And one of the best ways to figure out what you want to do is shadow some people, practice some things, do some internships, all that good stuff.
And Kurt, it's just been great being in the booth with you this year again.
It's been good again, Mark, and you know, it's fun to watch it, fun to see things happen. So some good plays, some challenging plays along the way tonight too.
And I'm confident, and we're confident, that Holland Christian will bounce back next week as they travel to Allendale and then finishing the year at Fruitport. Hopefully they'll be able to sneak into the playoffs this year. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Kurt, it's just been a pleasure.
It has been good. So, hey, keep those Maroons going.
Have a great weekend, everyone, and tune in Monday night as Holland Christian plays Fruitport in the OK Blue Conference Finals here at Holland Christian. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Number 14, Jen.